we have to remember that the government does draw the line between what is public and what is private. When we get kind of mixed up in there, sometimes the government will block out things. They'll block it out with magic markers on records that they don't want people to see various things. Most of that is dealing with secrets of the state, dealing with what is their property that is considered public. Okay, but remember, you've asked people to govern you, so they create their own little cliques and decide what they're going to allow you to see that you're not really a part of. You decided to want to join in or register into that. You've kind of walked in on your own consent. Remember, participation in that starts at, in their world, they even have a drawing line age of election, which is 18, which surprisingly is 666. So when we look at this handbook, this always confused me when I read it, and of course it makes sense, of course now, it didn't make sense at the time. This was the Physician's Handbook of Birth and Death Registration. I'll do my best maybe at one point to be able to scan this so you can read into it. There's not many people would have this, so I admit that I'm kind of blessed having insight more so than some people would have had on this subject matter on the birth and death registration. But it mentions confidential nature of the records, and it says original certificates of birth and death on file in state departments of health, as a rule, are not open to public inspection. Access to them for any purpose, even for legitimate scientific research, must be authorized. The publication of vital statistics, reports, and tabulations does not divulge the identity of individuals. Now that always confused me because when I look at these, of course, it appears that it divulged confidential information, something that was private. And I never understood that. But again, if the state was going to release these statistics, they, of course, would block out something that they considered was not part of the public. So you have to understand that what is their field of interest, what belongs only to the public, that, of course, being the legal surname. I researched even the documents I filled out for my children. This is another format that happened later. I'm not going to do too close on this because, again, there's things that are private and public on here. But you'll notice that the only thing on even this version that occurred during the 1990s when this was filled in, where I assisted in filling it in, was much involved in the legal. The only thing that was considered legal regarding title on this document only dealt with the surname. It would have legal surname in brackets. So it was telling you that that is what's legal in the title understanding. They're not saying legal given name, they're saying legal surname. So they're definitely qualifying it because you decided you wanted to enter your child into that, not even giving them a chance. You're already making a decision, which a lot of parents do. You'll see it. They're already making decisions. They're putting them in this game or that game ahead of time. They're already thinking that they're going to be the sports celebrity in hockey or whatever it may be. They want to basically have the child play the game that they want them to play. And so therefore, this is what happens on this game, the legal game. And therefore, they're making a decision ahead of time that they really shouldn't have made if they had spiritual direction for that child. But because they were lost also, the errors continue. So as we go forward on this, we realize that the government would not divulge anything off of any of these birth records that you may have asked for, these statement records. If it was actually going beyond you, they would cover up anything that someone would not be allowed to see. And so something on that document, of course, and we're going to explain that in future videos, what is private and what is public, because that has a lot to do with what we call confidential, what does not belong to the state and what does belong to the state. And they never really harmed the child here. No child has been harmed here. It's just a legal entity that is being put into place. So their birthing or their legal birth is only dealing with the surname, has nothing to do with the given name. Be aware of that fact. So they do not divulge private contents of this document into people in general that are just inquiring on statistical data from the Registrar General.